welcome to my channel. This channel is about UberEats and more directed towards new drivers or people who are more casually driving and not so much as business-like. Taxes are very complicated. I posted a video yesterday just to open up the floor in case if there was anything specifically that you wanted me to share about my taxes, but I didn't get any questions yet. If I do get any questions, of course, I'll address this, So just to start off is I am not a tax professional at all. I am not giving any tax advice, and I'm not giving any business advice. I'm only sharing my experience, and with that being said, it's for entertainment purposes, or it's to help you have a better understanding of what it's like to be an UberEats driver. That's really what this is all about. So if I help anybody, if I answer any questions that you didn't even know that you had, let me know. I really want to know if I'm giving out information that is actually helpful or not. So I really do appreciate any feedback I get. So with that being said, I'm just gonna give my experience being an UberEats driver on the financial tax side, and I'm going to try to just stick to that and not kind of elaborate on anything because I can do that. Okay, so when you first sign up for Uber, you have to decide like what you're going to be, and that means that you're going to be like a sole proprietor or an LLC or a corporation or anything like that. I did sole proprietor. The reason why I did that was because I didn't think I was going to be driving as long as I do, and in reality, it's just me. So that's why I did that. Okay, so I did know that I needed to keep track of my deductions for the year, watching other YouTube videos, reading some blogs, things like that. I kind of had an idea to keep all the receipts and to keep track of my spending for anything that I do for my Uber business, okay? This is a business, even though I kind of said earlier it's not. I mean, technically I do have a business and it's my name. So that's how it is with the government now that I've filed taxes. So that's what I did all year. So when January rolled around, I was waiting anxiously for my documents, and they came out at the end of January, and I received a 1099 miscellaneous, and I also saw that I got a 2018 tax summary, and that's basically just to show all the financials of Uber, and they're just giving it to me to help me out so that I can do my taxes. On this tax summary, it gives the amount of miles driven as well as the number of completed trips in the year, and then it also breaks down financially into 3 different categories on this form. The first category will be your gross earnings. The second category are expenses, fees, and tax, and the third is your net payout. Under your net payout, there is in bold, it says not for tax purposes. So you don't report your tax payout to the IRS. So anybody going into this, you need to report your gross earnings. That's before expenses, fees, things like that, or any tax that has been taken out. Just so you know. So when I got this, I didn't know exactly what to do, but Uber, they were offering, or they are offering currently, but they were in the past, if you see this in the future, through TurboTax, which I have filed with TurboTax multiple times in the past, a free file for self-employment, which is usually like $85 or something like that. Okay, so it's a good amount of money to file for this program. But if you click on the link through your Uber like when you're signed in at Uber, then you can file for free. Then, as well as with Uber, we got a year free of self-employed QuickBooks, which is something that I was really interested in last year, because when you first start doing this, you kind of get like that idea of like, I'm gonna have a business, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but I slowed my roll, and I may have bought some things that I didn't, I probably shouldn't have, or things like that. They just didn't like work out. But yeah, I didn't go crazy. So I'm really happy that I did not do that. But that's what happened. So that's what, yeah. Okay. So when I filed my taxes, I did my W-2s first, because that's what it asks for. And then it asks for 1099s. You can enter as many W-2s and as many 1099s as you have. There is no limit, I don't think. But I did get the 1099 miscellaneous, and I had to figure out what all of this was. So after I entered my miscellaneous amount, that's in like box 7, I had to then figure out my other earnings. And I'm like, my other earnings, because you have to report everything to the IRS. You have to pay taxes on everything you earn. That includes anything that's not reported on a tax document, as well as any tips that you did get. So just so you know, all of this has to get reported. And so I was like, crap. And this is where I kind of got stumped, because I really want to make sure that I put in the right number here. So it took me forever and a day, but I'm going to share it with you right now. So if you did get a 1099 miscellaneous, but you did not get a 1099K, and what I understand is the 1099K is your earnings on trips. And you only get a 1099K if you exceeded $20,000. This is just trips alone. The miscellaneous is anything beyond trips. So promotions, incentives, referral bonuses, and even I think trip adjustments are on the miscellaneous. They're not on the K. So that's that. Then I had to figure out my other earnings. So on your summary, you look at your gross earnings. That's what you look at. And if you look at the amount that you put in on your miscellaneous is a total additional earnings. Then above that will say gross trip earnings, and that's the number that you put in for how much you made and other. That will include anything beyond what you earn directly on a trip. Then after you do that, then you move into like deductions and things like that. And I know that I put in my deductions for these expenses, fees, and tax, because that is a tax write-off. I do know that. So I put that in. And then I also put in, like I said, I'm not here giving any tax advice. So if you have any specific questions, always seek a professional. But there is a miles, you have to report your miles, or you don't, yeah. And so you have your miles from your tracker that you keep, that you do manually, and then you have your Uber miles that's on your summary. And I just used my summary miles because it really wasn't that big of a difference. It was like maybe 500 miles more, but I got confused with like which miles are like count or which ones can you deduct, and that's a big question, like how do you do this? And so I just really wanted to just use Ubers, just because it wasn't that far from what I had, and this is my first year doing it, so just to keep me I feel safer doing that. And also like I said, there's a question, so I can make another video about which miles, the controversies or like the discussion on that, because different drivers believe different things. So I did that, and that is where you get your deduction. So I just use my standard deduction, and then I also wrote off my tolls. So because I don't drive on the tolls except for work, or when I go to the airport, and I know when I go to the airport because it says airport. So anything beyond the airport I know is for work. So I wrote those off. Now, remember, if you do tolls, Uber will reimburse you for an amount in tolls. So I subtracted the amount that they reimbursed me for tolls, and I just claimed the remaining. Okay, that's how I did it. Because I felt that that was ethical and correct. I mean, it just makes sense. Yeah. On top of it, just so you know, those reimbursed amounts, they're not included in your gross. They're like put into your net, just so you know. It will explain everything on your summary. So that's about my tax experience with Uber Eats. If you have any questions, let me know. This is kind of dry and to the bone because I just don't want to make it too much longer. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, or if you want me to go into any detail about any subject regarding Uber Eats or even taxes with Uber. I'll be happy to share what I know. Good luck out there. I hope everybody's making that money.